Hello. I'm going to be talking a little bit about the Fulani Headley thing, but not much. I'm going to be talking mainly about how people communicate with each other. But before I do that, I want to say, completely out of the blue, I got 1,000 extra subscribers. A video of mine has practically gone viral, and I suddenly have 30,000 or a bit more subscribers, and that was nothing I anticipated when I made my first video. So for those of you who are new to this channel, welcome. I want to tell you a little bit about myself. You might have not gone through my entire back catalogue. And the first is this bandage on my arm here is because I scalded myself with hot coffee. I have one of those coffee presses. I had a cheap coffee press. I got irritable with the time it was taken for the coffee to brew. I pushed the plunger down, boiling coffee squirted out the sides of the lid and caught my arm. It's been quite a nasty do, but thank God for modern bandaging. It's not leaving me with a scar, I hope. I do urge you though to get rid of any cheap plastic coffee presses you might have. I immediately went out and got a stainless steel one with a proper lid that wouldn't allow that sort of squirting to happen again. So that's the first thing. The second thing is I've been to university. I've done several things at university, but I started my career with Arabic and early Islamic history at Manchester University. So I know a bit about the Muslim world, and it's my belief that because I have spoken about it in various things, I don't concentrate on it, but when the subject comes up, I mention it, or I critique it or whatever. I believe that has caused some ire among YouTube censors or moderators or whatever they're called now in YouTube, because I am being shadow banned in some areas occasionally. And I know that because I've had people writing in. One person wrote in and told me his subscription for me had suddenly disappeared, and then he looked on YouTube for me, couldn't even find me. Now, part of that might be because I have two names. I started my channel with the name Demiret, which was a bit of a joke. And then as I got more involved with uploading political videos, I decided I would take the name Granniopteryx when I opened the other channels. Granniopteryx, of course, because I was making a play on the Archaeopteryx, which is an old bird, an archaeological bird. And I thought, well, I'm an old bird too, so I'll be Granniopteryx. All right, so that's how I got these two names. And meanwhile, I've been sort of gradually switching YouTube name. Granniopteryx should find me as well on YouTube. But this person told me he couldn't find me. So it's obvious that there's some sort of block on my channel somewhere along the line. And, well, there's nothing I can do about that. I've complained to YouTube, but of course, I'm just complaining to assistant on the end of the line, and they have no control over policy. They're just there to try and sort out technical problems most of the time. Okay, so that's about me. And now I'll do my channel ID before I start talking about communication. All right, so I'm Granniopteryx. I'm on YouTube, Rumble, BitChute and Minds. You'd better believe it. And I let you know when I've uploaded a video because YouTube don't very often. I'm on Twitter, Gab and Parler, where I am at Granniopteryx, strangely enough. Okay, and if you subscribe to one of those, you'll always find my videos because I give the links. Right. You can help my channel grow a bit more by liking this video, by sharing it, and by subscribing, and if you're on YouTube, by checking that your subscription is still there. The other thing you can do is buy me a coffee, or click one of the other donate links below. Right, that's more information about me. And now let's get on to this. No, I don't have any photos here. Let's get on to this. So the Fulani thing was an example of how people don't know how to communicate anymore. Now, I'm putting her on one side because she knows, but she also knew the effect she would have, for sure. I kept getting comments under my videos from a certain type of person, and most of whom wrote hideously ungrammatical responses. So it's obvious the two things seem to go together. One of them said, downright insulting. There was some calling people very rude words, and I did delete them because it just didn't seem like that was going to add to the conversation in any way. I don't mind you disagreeing with me. I do mind you calling me naughty names, or other people as well. It's just, that's not, but this is the point. Discussion, it's just insult, and that's supposed to tell everyone you're right. Now, at one point I said, in one of my videos, I said, if she had a complaint, she should have written a letter, and she could probably have got it straight to Buckingham Palace, because she was in a charity. She would have had some sort of channel of communication. And then I got a couple of people saying, nobody will take any notice of a letter, and somebody else rather foolishly said, get with the programme, lady, it's email now. Well, I meant email as well. I mean, a letter can be either a piece of paper with a stamp on it or an email. Even maybe a fax, although I don't remember the last time I sent a fax. Anyway, the point is there are ways of communicating. You can ask somebody to do something in a letter. If they don't take notice of your letter, you then go higher up, or then, if they're still not taking notice of you, that's when you go onto Twitter or Instagram or whatever. The point is, you give people a chance to act like human beings. But that's not what happened in this instance, and I'm pretty sure why. But what I'm talking about is not that Miss Headley didn't know how to communicate, but that the people who were supporting her thought she was doing the right thing. That is, they also didn't know about writing letters. And yeah, judging from the way they used language, a lot of them, they might have needed some help. You know, in the old days, people who couldn't write went to scribes to get them to write their letters. Well, it seems like in a lot of instances that should be a profession that should come back. Anyway, right. So let's just think. These people thought that you can't write letters because nobody's going to take any notice of them. Well, I can assure you, places like Buckingham Palace administration take notice of letters all the time, and they will get letters. And as I said, then you go up the chain if you're not getting any response. But the way that Headley dealt with this situation, there was no possibility of learning, discussion, or even thought. And that's the problem with modern communications. It's all going so fast, a lot of people don't have a chance to think. And somehow modern communications are teaching at least a younger generation to attack rather than to think. And it's difficult, for instance, to have a logical conversation on Twitter. You're limited with words, you're limited with how much of an argument you make, you're limited with how much information you can give. And Instagram's even worse. And Instagram is the preferred method of communication for like teens and early 20s, except for special cases, you've got a maximum of 10 minutes to make an argument on Instagram. And Instagram also has a lot of previews, which are really just boiled down précis of what you say in the longer video. And generally speaking, that's all that your viewers will see. So the problem is kids are being given a habit of mind that's shallow, fast, and in many cases not even logical. So how do you make kids think a bit deeper? How do you force them to think of different sides of a problem, to think in 3D actually? Well, it's schools. It's more important than at any other time that schools should teach children how to communicate. Schools should debate, should have debate, should teach children how to debate. When I was a kid, I remember teachers, say in English lessons, teaching me to write a letter. You know, write a letter to X about Y or whatever. Write a letter to your aunt about what you did last week, whatever it was. To sort your thoughts out and to think about what you did and then to write it down. I don't think children are taught that nowadays. They just, you know, Instagram, make a quick video, don't think about it too much, put it out there and that's it. Unfortunately, if you watch something like Libs of TikTok, it's very good. If you haven't heard of that, I heartily recommend it. You'll notice on that a substantial number of teachers posting to TikTok and proudly explaining that they are indoctrinating children with their own political or gender-based ideas. They're proud of it. In fact, they give you hints on how to do it. And I doubt there's very much discussion going on in their classrooms. Now, it seems that teachers don't think much themselves. Now, I have taught and I have been in school situations and I have noticed that there are many teachers who don't think much. Really, you know, it's like saying a heresy now, but it's true. Now, of course, there are many who do, but it depends on the way the school is organised as to how much power the ones who don't think have over the ones who do think. And that's the problem. The school depends on how the principal runs it. And if the principal is indoctrinated and doesn't think, then the school's lost. If you look at, there's a school called the Michaela School. It's run by a renegade educator called Catherine Birbalsingh. She is absolutely amazing. She turns out fantastic results. Her kids they're all high quality. They come from the worst parts of London, some of them. The most deprived areas, and yet they are coming up with wonderful, amazing educational results. Now, you'd think, seeing that example, that the whole British education system would be falling over itself to model themselves after the Michaela School. Not a bit of it. They're all going woke. Well, not all, obviously. Now, I want to show you about teachers not thinking, just as a small example. There was a question, I suppose it was in a maths class. I found the tweet, I've lost it, so I'll just show you a picture that I've done, but that was what the tweet was. It was a question, and the question was, draw a clock showing 10 minutes past 11. This is what one of the kids turned in. The teacher marked it wrong. It's perfectly right. The teacher wasn't specific about an analog clock. That's all. But that's not the way the teacher was thinking. Just marked it wrong. That is not wrong. And the teacher shouldn't have marked it wrong. But that teacher was just thinking along. Well, I keep talking about thinking along railway lines. There are far too many people who do that. Okay. Right, so that's what I'm going to tell you so far about kids' education. And in the next video, I'm going to talk about the voting age for children. Till next time. Why not treat yourself or a favoured relative or friend to these magnificent examples of merch? The mugs and t-shirts come in the granniopteryx design or Granbo with a firearm or the more deadly knitting needles. Go to www.granniopteryx.com and whatever platform you're watching this on, please click like, subscribe and share.